the month of October, and we are in the pumpkin patch. And Lloyd, we're here, and I want to thank you. We did your sweet potatoes in September. We're doing the pumpkin patch in October, but we can't pass up these pink in Paris,
Yellow of Paris
pumpkins. Now Lloyd's got a story to tell about this.
This is the first year I've grown this variety of pumpkins. I was hunting a real fine textured pumpkin, and I called Home Seed Company in Ohio, and they said they had some seed that I would really like. So I ordered seed. The only thing I didn't ask her how big the pumpkins got.
Right.
And she said you'll have a few big ones, but she didn't tell me every one of them is going to be large.
And
so
what 40...
we got some small ones, but they're a lot larger, as you can see. You look out through there, you'll see some that weigh 40 to 50 pounds, maybe 60 pounds. Something.
Wow, wow. But
right down here to my left is a pumpkin probably weighs 70 pounds right here.
Right.
So they big in size, but they're real meaty, got a real fine texture. And I had a chef already to use some of them, and he says they're very good pumpkin to make pies out of, or any kind of thing you want to make, pumpkin soup or whatever you want to make out of it.
Yeah, and I even have a recipe for pumpkin smoothie.
Yeah.
So we may do that.
I think maybe he did some smoothies.
Some smoothies, yeah. And now, sweet potatoes are #1 in nutrition. Are pumpkins pretty closely related to sweet potatoes?
They're on down the line somewhat, yeah, but
okay.
They're still good for you.
Good for you. All right, now we have a real pumpkin patch here, Lloyd. And how do you do little hills? Is that how you do
we
these?
We plant those the same way we do sweet potatoes.
Okay.
Fertilize our ground and hill it up.
Right.
12 or 15 inches high.
Okay.
And then plant seed in the dirt on top of that ridge.
All right.
And then when they come up, we just start working them a little bit, and pumpkin grows really fast. So you can cultivate pumpkins one time and hold them one time and probably be done with them.
Because otherwise the vines are all over the ground, I guess.
The vines is all in here, but the vines has died down now. It's an early pumpkin what it is.
Oh,
They mature so quick, yeah.
So there will be pumpkins, say at the farmer's market, probably in November as well.
Yeah. Now we do have another field, terrace of pumpkins down here, the yellow, but it's a Connecticut field. It's an orange pumpkin, but it's also a good eating pumpkin.
Good eating pumpkin.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's just not nearly the texture this is. This is a solid pumpkin. If you pick one up comparable to that size, one like this, about half the weight.
Oh, because these
are so heavy.
Wow. Well, I'm not even going to attempt.
When you buy, say, a $5-6 pumpkin, then you're getting a lot of meat.
Right.
That pumpkin right there, you had your hands on, that'd probably make 15, 20 pies.
15 or 20 pies.
Yeah.
Okay. So really, these you wouldn't want to carve to be a jack-o'-lantern.
No, it's not a good
but maybe those down there.
The orange kind is a carving kind.
The carving kind. Okay. Well, and I'm curious, how many seeds do you put in a hill?
We plant 3 seeds per hill.
Okay.
And we try to thin them down to two plants.
Oh, do you? So you wouldn't like put 5 in there and then pull out?
If you put 5, your pumpkins wouldn't get the size you want.
I got you. Well, here, if you're interested in growing pumpkins, Lloyd's the man.
I've grown pumpkins since about 57 years when I started farming. So
when you were what, a teenager?
Well, I was 18-year-old.
Okay. And I believe we've heard the story. Was it your dad who started all this, or you?
Well, he wasn't so much in produce farming. He was in cattle, soybeans, and oats and stuff back then. But I wanted to venture out and take some other kind of road down and see what I could do.
Yeah, sure.
I've really had a good success in my life raising produce.
Well, I would say so, and I just cannot get over. This ground is the same ground that we were growing the sweet potatoes in. It's the sandy, light, airy soil that doesn't pack up when it gets wet or dries out. This is just wonderful.
But the one thing you don't want to forget, you don't do it by yourself. The good Lord helps me out a lot.
Well,
gives me direction on every day on what to do.
Wow, Lloyd. Well, that speaks well. Thank you, Lloyd, and your lovely wife.
Thank you, Deborah.
Yes, sir. Thank you
Glad-
so
glad
much.
to do it for you.
Well,
yeah.
you're welcome.
Yeah, y'all been good to me, so
Well,
I'll try to be good to y'all.
you are. Well, stay tuned. We're going to talk about why we need to eat a pumpkin, not only carve it. So stay tuned.
Only 2 years until graduation. Then what? The Advanced Manufacturing Academy is a partnership between Cleveland County Schools and Cleveland Community College. It offers you, rising 11th graders, the chance to learn job skills, earn valuable credentials, and complete your high school studies all at the same time. By completing the Advanced Manufacturing Academy, you'll graduate high school ready to start work at way above minimum wage. Check out the Academy and give yourself a head start on a great future.
Hi, I'm Tim Foster from C19 TV.
I'm Rob Root from KTCBroadcasting.com.
And I'm Fulvio Brooks from C19 TV Sports.
Join us each week for Armchair Quarterback. What's in store on the gridiron in 2018? Each week we look at all 4 Cleveland County High School football teams, Shelby, and conference foes Crest, Kings Mountain, and Burns. We will look at what happened the week before and look ahead at what's coming up this week.
We will also discuss the ACC, SEC, and Gardner-Webb football.
We'll also do the NFL and the Carolina Panthers.
Don't miss another great season of Armchair Quarterback right here on C19 TV.
My hair is kind of different.
Not everyone likes the way I dress. And I don't look like other people.
Me neither. Everyone is different, but no one deserves to be bullied. So be kind, stay positive, and support each other.
Every single day.
Together we can change the game!
Hi, Cleveland County. Welcome back. First of all, I want to make mention of my hat. Thank you, Dean Westmoreland. I know you approve of this hat because you gave it to me, and I'll wear it. Thank you so much for it. Well, folks, now we're on to the show. Nancy Abassier-Kong is with us, and she is the director of, and we're going to call you a director, of the Consumer and Science Family Sciences for the Extension Department. Same title I always have trouble with.
Right.
But we're here to talk pumpkins, Nancy.
Yes,
And what versatile vegetable is our pumpkin?
exactly.
At Lloyd's farm, we saw the eating kind of pumpkin, and we're going to be cooking the yellow on Paris pumpkin, which is supposed to be the most phenomenal eating pumpkin ever. And then we also saw pictures of like the jack-o'-lantern pumpkins.
Right.
So, well, let me just ask you, can we eat both pumpkins?
You can eat both pumpkins, but the jack-o'-lantern or the carving type of
Right.
pumpkin does not have the same flavor. It's often more watery, stringy. The pulp might be a little more stringy, so
Okay.
it's not really desirable as an eating.
eat, to
Right. So
eat.
if you're going to carve, get a carving or jack-o'-lantern type pumpkin.
Well, and
Often
I would
those are
imagine
large.
that they would have a tougher rind and hold up when you cut the eyes and the nose
Right.
and the mouth out. So,
Right. Well, they all will have that tough rind on
Okay,
them, and we
okay.
want to get one that doesn't have any soft spots when we're selecting,
Right.
whether it's for carving or for eating. A lot of times the eating pumpkin will be a smaller, might be smaller, they don't have to be small, but they can be a smaller, and have a sweeter flesh.
okay.
Not as stringy, not as watery. So it's for whether it's pies or pumpkin bread or using in soups or chili or lots of different things. You just have a better flavor
Okay.
with the one that is for eating. It's a
Good.
variety for eating.
Okay. Well, why would we eat a pumpkin, Nancy? What good does it do us?
Well, it does us a lot of good. And actually, pumpkin is one of the winter squash. You know, we've talked about butternut squash
Yes,
before.
yes.
And of course, there are other squash that are in this winter squash family, and pumpkin is one of those.
Okay,
Now, that often pumpkin is that bright orange,
right.
and that color lets us know that it is full of beta carotene, which is something that our body converts to vitamin A. And we know that vitamin A is a vitamin or a nutrient that really helps us in a lot of ways. Pumpkin also has folate, it has potassium, it's no fat
Right,
until we
right.
add in fat, so no fat,
Right.
low sodium, very little sodium. So it's a fiber, you know, we'll get fiber there. So it's a good choice when we're looking for something healthy and seasonally, you know, when we're trying to eat in season. Then
Correct.
pumpkin makes a good fall item, although we can keep them if we put them in a cool, dark, dry place. We can keep them 3 to 6 months.
Wow.
So when you get your pumpkin, just put it, again, 45 to 50 degrees, so kind of a cool location, but plan to use it, but know that you don't have to rush and use it.
Well, that's good. Yes, yes, yes. But then you did mention they have to be perfect. No soft spots, no probably discoloration if you plan to keep it for 6 months.
That's right. Just like with anything else, you don't want any signs of decay when you purchase it.
Right.
So that when you're selecting, and if you do have one, you're growing or you happen to have one, go ahead and plan to use that, and you would cut that area out.
Okay.
But if you're selecting, don't select one that way.
Right.
But if you've got it already at home, then we don't have to throw it out.
Right. Oh,
We
that's
can- we
just
can
cut out the
cut
bad
it out,
part.
yes.
All right. And then I would imagine we can freeze pumpkin?
Yes. And freezing is actually preferred to canning pumpkin for
Okay.
preserving or for food preservation.
Right.
Although you are able to can it, freeze it, or dry it.
Dry it.
You can dry.
Oh.
But of course, pumpkins have a lot of water,
Right.
and you would slice it thin, you know, in small chunks if you're going to dry. But for freezing, that's the optimal way.
Okay.
And you would still cook until they're soft. You can either have boiling after you washed your pumpkin, cut it, taken out the seeds and so forth. Cut into an inch, either
So are we
strips
talking-
or chunks.
And so a strip would be that big, like an inch, like a cube thing?
Right, and then you're going to cut it in cubes if you're going to can it. Now, if you're freezing it,
Right.
you can bake it, or you can boil it, or steam it, microwave it, because often for freezing, you will mash it. So go ahead and after you've gotten it cooked until it's soft,
Okay.
and then cool,
Okay.
mash, and then you can package it into your freezer
Okay.
containers.
So you wouldn't want to freeze these chunks or these strips?
You could freeze chunks or strips.
Okay.
You could very easily do that.
Okay.
And if so, you would be blanching, and we'll have the time for blanching or cooking until they're just fork tender.
Right.
And then you would chill those.
Okay.
And if you want to take out just a few at a time, then always
Right.
use, we've talked about before, the tray method of freezing,
Okay.
where you're going to place them on a
Cookie
tray,
sheet.
a cookie sheet or
Okay.
a pan, let them just get hard,
Right.
then take them off and put them into your freezer bag. So you're not leaving them in the freezer very long.
Right.
But once they're hard, and that way if you want half a cup or 1 cup or something, you can take that out and you don't have a whole
The bag all
bag
thawed out.
full.
Right.
Mhm.
Oh,
So it just gives you more
right.
versatility there and more control as you're
Right.
working with it over the
Certainly.
season.
Well, I really prefer that way. Of course, we all have different ways of cooking and lifestyles and all that. But to me, that sounds the most convenient.
Right, yes, and for using it in a variety of ways, because we don't always use it mashed.
Right.
So,
right. Well,
but-
exactly.
right.
Exactly.
But with our fresh pumpkin, anything that calls for sweet potatoes or things you could put pumpkin in, And then also, you could use canned pumpkin if you don't happen to have a fresh. Of course, with our farmers market, this is the season for fresh pumpkins.
Right.
And we know that we can buy them and hold them. But if there are times that you don't have fresh pumpkin, then canned pumpkin, just canned pumpkin, not pie filling. But so if you're putting it in a soup or a chili or a bread,
Right.
then you would use the canned solid pumpkin, is what that would be called.
If you don't have that
If you
already
don't have the
in
fresh.
your freezer.
That's right. If you
Yes.
haven't been lucky enough to have a fresh one
Right.
that you could prepare
Right.
yourself.
Right, right. Well, it's a beautiful vegetable. I mean, I love huge, big things, and these are big things.
Yes,
And which means there's a lot of meat
exactly.
in one of these.
Right. So we could prepare it in several different ways. You know, use some now in your different dishes. And of course, on our Cleveland County Kitchen website, we'll have a fact sheet.
Okay, good.
Probably one of the Harvest, North Carolina or California has a good Harvest fact sheet that has recipes and tells us nutrients and how to prepare them. You can microwave, and you know it's very versatile.
Oh,
So
well.
we can, and you can decorate, of course, with pumpkins.
of
Don't forget
course,
that
of
this time of
course.
year.
Well, yay pumpkins! Enjoy Halloween and all the good things that cooler weather brings.
Yes,
Thank you, Nancy.
indeed.
And stay tuned, folks. We're going to be cooking our pumpkin here in just a few minutes. So stand by.
Here in Cleveland County, many children struggle to develop due to the lack of guidance and shortage of positive role models. At the Boys and Girls Club, we make it our team's mission to aid your child in becoming a better student and, more importantly, a better person with a brighter future.
When your child comes to the club, you can be assured they are being guided in a manner that is beneficial to the growth as an adult that is visible in their lives. Please consider giving your child the opportunity to be the absolute best they can possibly be.
Please support your local Boys and Girls Club today.
Want change? Like things the way they are? Use your rights and vote. Take a stand for your beliefs. Why wouldn't you vote? Don't make excuses. It's not every day you can take a stand on community, state, and national issues. Think your vote won't change anything? In 2008, only 3,632 votes separated the presidential race in the state of Missouri. 3,632. Every vote counts. Speak up. Only you can silence your voice. Go to your local polling place and be heard on this election day.
For many kids, just showing up to school is a challenge. Staying through graduation is even harder. So at communities and schools, we do just what our name says. Our staff brings a community of resources to meet each student's needs right in their school, doing whatever it takes to keep kids focused so they see what we see, a bright future. Join in at communitiesandschools.org.
These lines, like the creases in my father's hands, show the hard work and sacrifices of a line worker. These lines are the connections my father helped build between people, businesses, and organizations. They tell the story of how we invested in ourselves. We're public power. And these lines are our lines.
Hi, Cleveland County. Welcome back. This is the month of October. And guess what we're talking about today? Pumpkins. How appropriate. And who I have here is Patrick Vollmer, Dr. Patrick Vollmer.
That's right.
I think you're the very first physician that I've ever had on the show to be a chef.
Hopefully not the last.
Dr. Vollmer is with Vita Eye Clinic.
That's right.
Downtown Shelby. And I'm quite impressed with him. He is conducting this weekend a study for dry eye, if you can relate to that, and trying out a new medication. Cleveland County, Shelby, hosts one of 10 sites in the country that are doing this. So I'm very impressed.
Thank you.
Now impress us with your pumpkin cutting skills.
Thank you.
And while you're doing that, I will explain. So just multitask
going,
here,
all
not
right.
multitask. That we're showing you how we get into this pumpkin. And actually, what we've pre-cut this so that you can see. And this particular pumpkin, it is called Yellow in Paris. And I have been told that Jamie Swafford said this is the most amazing pumpkin he has ever cooked with. Jamie was our very first chef back in 2014. You see how little seeds there are, how much of the meat there is, and I don't know, a tenth of an inch is the rind on this thing. So this is fabulous. And of course you will have known that Lloyd Lewis grew these pumpkins. So keep working away.
All
Let's get the seeds out and we put them in that little bowl. What we've already done pre-show was to brown the ground beef, and we're doing pumpkin chili in the on the show. So Patrick, in his own little kitchen, browned the ground beef and added all the spice and the tomatoes and the beans, and so that we would be able to function mostly on our pumpkin. And how wonderful this is! So he is doing right now. You are removing the rind.
That's right. Just removing the seeds and the rind.
And as you can see, there is hardly any rind at all. There is so little wastage on this pumpkin. And if you can see here, you know, look at that. My goodness. And I'm going to keep some of these seeds and plant them next year, Patrick. Woo, won't that be great?
That'll be wonderful.
So part of the show, part of what the recipe calls for with it pumpkin chili, we've got to add the pumpkin. So we've got everything in the chili pot pre-done. Recipe will be online, and it is amazing. And we're looking now for 3 cups of pumpkin. And Patrick, I'm going to suggest that we cut these up in smaller pieces,
I can do
because the idea is that once we put them in, and the chili's hot, we've made sure it's hot, that it takes 20 minutes to cook the pumpkin. So we obviously won't be able to eat it, but we're going to serve it anyway, just so you can see what it looks like. We're even prepared with the sour cream. And the recipe calls for cilantro, so we're going to dress the sour cream with cilantro. And as you all know that cook, you can put whatever ingredients, and that's why chili is such a great
That's right.
dish, is you can improvise whatever's in your cabinet. But if you don't have cumin, then
Yeah.
you have to go out and buy cumin. But you don't have to if you don't like cumin. Oh, no, that's, Patrick, that is much better. So let's just measure those smaller pieces. It requires 3 cups of cut up pumpkin. And with them this small, it won't take very long to cook.
Right.
But do give it about 20 minutes anyway. I'm just assuming and guessing. But again, I want you to zero in on this beautiful pumpkin. What we'd say, yellow on Paris.
That's right.
And I would think Lloyd would have this at his market at the farmer's market. So if you're interested in cooking any kind of pumpkin at all, according to Jamie Swafford, it's the best variety that he has ever used to cook. And it's not that, what we decide is about 13 pounds, Patrick?
That's right, roughly.
And as you saw in the pumpkin patch, he's got huge, enormous ones. Plus, Lloyd also has the that's what I call them, jack-o'-lantern pumpkins. And so he's got whatever you want. But if you want yellow on Paris, Lloyd's the man to have it and do it. So, okay. So we're just about there with
That's about 3 cups.
3 cups. Oh, just cut up what you have, Patrick. Yeah, cut up what you have. Oh, that's fabulous. And again, look at that. There's no wastage to this. Very little seeds and things. All right, perfect. All right, here's one more, Patrick.
Oh,
no,
that's the rind,
that's
yeah.
the rind. All right, pop in there, stir it in. Oh, that's great. And we've got your big chili spoon right there. All right, that's hot, ready to go, and take our pumpkin.
So just mix it in here.
Right. All right, that's good. Now, if you don't mind, well, no, let's don't do that. There you go. Let's just stir that up. And we're going to pretend here that we've already let it stew and cook down.
Right.
Stir as much as you can, Patrick. Because then what we're going to do, we're just going to pretend it's done, and we're going to display it in this bowl right here. So if you want to take this label then, oh, that's great. Take the label and just ladle it in there for a nice presentation. Oh, that looks fabulous, fabulous. All right, good deal. All right, and then we're going to do, if you want to set it right out there so the camera can see it, there's pumpkin in there. We're going to take a little sour cream and kind of dollop all that around. And then we're going to take a little, well, I'm going to let you do that.
Sure.
You have longer arms than I do. And dollop around in there. Oh, my goodness. What a wonderful fall meal.
That's right.
What a wonderful meal for Thanksgiving. And I just assume you're going to have this for Thanksgiving, Patrick.
It'll have to be a side for sure.
Well, great. Well, I can't thank you
Thank
enough,
you, absolutely.
Patrick,
Yeah,
for
thank
having
you.
us. Don't we love our apron
We-
here?
yeah.
Oh, yes. We're just sorry we didn't have any wine.
That's right.
here. We should have had that. But anyway, well, thank you for watching. Stay tuned for next month. We think it's going to be cabbage, but who knows about the weather that we're having now. But it'll be something, and we'll have a good time. And happy month.